I want to start by thanking you all for taking the time to attend this webinar. My name is Amro Eid, and I'm the Director of Business Development at the FreeMind Group for the past 3.5 years now. The topic today is going to be on the Congressionally Directed Medical Research Programs, or the CDMRPs, if you're familiar. If not, well, this presentation will do a very good job in terms of introducing you to those programs, what they involve, the award mechanisms, and the deadlines. So also keep in mind that we are going to share the slide deck, and there's also going to be a YouTube link for this webinar in the coming days. So feel free to relax and enjoy the presentation. And if you feel there is a need to take notes, please do so. But we are going to be sharing the slides and the link for this webinar. Also, if you have any questions, please write them in the Q&A, and I'll try to answer as many as I can towards the end of the session. Okay, so a quick introduction about us, who we are. The FreeMind Group has been around for the past 23 years now, since 1999, and we are specialized only in the human health related life sciences when it comes to winning and securing non-dilutive funding from both US federal agencies and private foundations. We work with about 200 companies a year. The vast majority are industry, from small to medium-sized startups, and 30% of our clients are also prestigious universities, medical centers, and nonprofits. We have about 85 full-time employees on average, submitting about 700 grant applications per year, resulting in aggregate awards about $100 million that we win on behalf of our clients. As for the sources of funding that we target, we do cover all of them across the board, including the NIH, 27 institutes and centers, as you all may be aware. There is BARDA, the FDA, the CDC, the National Science Foundation, or the NSF, private foundations, Bill and Melinda Gates, Michael J. Fox, JDRF, and many, many others. And of course, the Department of Defense, including the US Army Medical Research and Development Command. There is DARPA, or the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency, DETRA, the Defense Threat Reduction Agency, and of course, the CDMRP program, the Congressionally Directed Medical Research Programs. So about the CDMRPs, the CDMRP really fills research gaps by funding high impact, high risk, and high gain projects that other agencies may not venture to fund. While individual programs are unique in their focus, all of the programs managed by the CDMRP, they share a common goal of advancing research and solutions that will lead to cures or improvements in patient care, or breakthrough technologies and resources for clinical benefit. The CDMRP programs strive to transform healthcare for service members and the American public through innovative and impactful research. The budget for 2022 was about $1.2 billion. For this year, the announcement says about $1.5 billion. So 25% increase in a single year. That is impressive. As for the military relevance, keep in mind that these programs must be relevant, as I mentioned, to the healthcare needs of military service members, the veterans, beneficiaries, and their families, and the American public. So the more relevant your application is to the military and their beneficiaries and veterans, the more interesting the application would be from a funder's perspective. As for the research, they have different focus areas. We're going to be describing the ones that are on the website right now, in addition to others that we expect to be announced. Those programs are usually announced just before April. They are once-a-year programs. Most of them, or almost all of them, require a pre-application first, few pages, and then if successful, you'll be invited to submit a full proposal. And non-US companies, by the way, or non-US components with US companies as well, are eligible to apply for these sources. Um, so this is really just a take-home message here, a very important note that you need to make sure you keep in mind when submitting those applications to address and tell the story in the application in such a way that it would be very with high military relevance. So these are the 2022 CDMRP funding programs. The ones in bold are the ones you can find on the website right now. The other ones, we received a pre-announcement that all of those will be released shortly. So as you can see here, covering really a wide range of different areas, including a lot of oncology programs, as you can see, breast cancer, lung cancer, melanoma, ovarian cancer, pancreatic cancer, prostate cancer, and even a peer-reviewed cancer research program that has 20 different oncology types inside. So there's a lot of interest in oncology programs, but of course, in addition, we have the peer-reviewed Alzheimer research program, Parkinson's, autism, military burn, multiple sclerosis, lupus research program, the chronic pain research program, and many more. So the process for submission and award, starting as I've mentioned with the pre-proposal or a letter of intent, sorry. It's the first step and one of the most crucial steps, because you don't want to be wasting your time writing a full application that's quite complex without getting some positive feedback from the funders first. And likewise, the funders, they would like to establish interest first before they start reviewing very large and complex applications. So that is the first step. It's limited to few pages. The letter of intent is usually a one-page limit with other supporting documents, so it's quite straightforward. The second step is for the pre-application to be reviewed, and if successful, you will be invited to submit the full applications. So what happens during this review process with the full applications? They are definitely evaluated by scientists, clinicians, and even consumers in a two-tier review process. The first tier is a peer review, the evaluation of applications against established criteria to determine technical merit, where each application is assessed for its own merit, independent of other applications. The second tier is a programmatic review, which is a comparison-based process in which applications with high scientific and technical merit are further evaluated for programmatic relevance. And then from there, the full review, after it's done, the final recommendations for funding are made to the commanding general, or the US Army Medical Research and Development Command, followed by contract negotiations. It's mainly on different elements in the proposal, including the budget and the negotiated overhead or indirect cost component for your company, and ultimately the award. So as I've mentioned, these are some example programs that are issued that you can find on the website. We're going to be explaining and describing more about these opportunities, the peer-reviewed medical research program, breast cancer, ovarian cancer, lung cancer, and ALS. In addition to epilepsy that that just got announced, I think yesterday, and I've just added it to the presentation. In any case, so this is the CDMRP website where you can find all sources of funding from the DoD CDMRP programs. And of course, you can subscribe to their newsletters and get the announcements as soon as they are released, and updates, etc. And here we have the BRAP website, where you can actually, for each funding program, there's a synopsis on all funding mechanisms per program that includes the funding levels and key dates, in addition to instructions, very detailed instructions on how to prepare the applications, as well as relevant registration and admin requirements. So starting with the peer-reviewed medical research programs. So the vision of those programs is to improve health, well-being, and care of all military service members, veterans, and beneficiaries. The main mission is to encourage, identify, select, and manage medical research projects of clear scientific merit that lead to impactful advances in military healthcare. So looking at the purpose of this program, they seek applications in laboratory, clinical, behavioral, epidemiological, etc., to advance knowledge in disease etiology, improving prevention, detection, diagnosis, treatment, quality of life, and develop and validate clinical practice or public health guidelines. For this year, the funding is about $370 million. They cover a wide range of different topic areas, about 50 of them. And of course, once again, the emphasis is on military relevance. So looking at the different indications in the peer-reviewed medical research programs, there's pain management, there's IBD, there's arthritis, respiratory diseases, foot pressure ulcers, vaccines, really covering a lot of different areas, polycystic kidney disease, non-opioid pain management, diabetes, plant-based products, and the list goes on. Hepatitis, musculoskeletal, fibrosis. So the peer-reviewed medical research programs, they have different awards, mainly 4 of them. So here we're going to explain about each award. Starting with the clinical trial award, pre-proposal submissions are required. The full application submission is by invitation only. It supports the rapid implementation of clinical trials of novel interventions with the potential to have a significant impact on patient care in one of those topics that we have just discussed. The proposed projects may range from small proof of concept trials through large scale. The budget is not capped for the clinical trial award. It's the maximum period of performance is up to 4 years. The pre-application deadline is on May 6th, and the full application is on August 12th. The Discovery Award supports the exploration of a highly innovative new concept or even an untested theory. Clinical trials will not be funded through the Discovery Award. The maximum funding available is about $200,000 for up to 2 years, and we are only talking about direct costs. Indirect costs will be, as I mentioned during the negotiation, we will agree on a rate with the funding agency. It can be 20%, 30%, goes for 40, 50%, sometimes even higher, depending on the budget and the justification and the negotiations we conduct with the funders. The pre-application for the Discovery Award is on April 22nd, and the full application is on May 20th. Moving to the third mechanism, or the Investigator-Initiated Research Award, it supports research that will make an original and important contribution to the field of research or patient care in one of those areas. Clinical trials, once again, will not be funded in this one. Funding is about $1.6 million for direct costs for single investigators and $2 million for partnering investigators, up to 4 years. Pre-application due date April 29th, full application May 27th. The fourth award is the Technology Therapeutic Development Award, supporting the translation of promising preclinical findings into clinical applications for prevention, detection, diagnosis, treatment, and/or quality of life. It supports the development of drugs, biologics, devices, or even a knowledge-based product. There are 2 funding levels available for this award, depending on the stage of development of the project and the product. Budgets range from $2 to $4 million, and it's up to 4 years. Pre-application due date on April 29th and full application on May 27th. So moving on to the breast cancer research program, we've just finished the peer-reviewed medical research programs that contain 50 different topics. And the purpose of the BCRP is to really address the scientific community to design research that will address the urgency of ending breast cancer, specifically to accelerate high impact research with clinical relevance, encouraging innovation and stimulating creativity, and to facilitate productive collaborations. As for funding for this year, $150 million are allocated to support different awards, and we're going to be mainly talking about the breakthrough awards in this one with 4 different levels. And once again, high emphasis on military relevance. So these breakthrough awards, they support promising research that has high potential to lead or make breakthroughs in breast cancer. It must have potential for a major impact to accelerate progress ending breast cancer. Potential impact of the research may be near or long-term, but it must move beyond a minor advancement and have the potential to lead to a new approach that is fundamentally better than interventions already approved or in clinical development. So different levels here from 1 to 4. With different budgets, as you can see. There are a lot of details and instructions for each of those levels that we can't fit in a single slide. So please check the solicitation for the due dates for each of them, both pre-applications and full applications, and also the mechanisms and the eligibility criteria for each of those levels. So moving to the lung cancer research program, the purpose is to support and integrate research from multiple disciplines for risk assessment, prevention, early detection, diagnosis, management, treatment for the control and cure of lung cancer. $20 million are set for this program this year. They do have different award mechanisms that have different due dates and different instructions. So please check the solicitations for those different award mechanisms. Some of them include the Idea Development Award, Clinical Translational Research Partnership Award, and Investigator Initiated Translational Research Award. The ovarian cancer research program here is really to support patient-centered research to prevent, detect, treat, and cure ovarian cancer to enhance the health and well-being of service members, veterans, their family members, and all women impacted by this disease across the American public. $45 million for this program this year, with pre-applications being on May 2nd, most of them, full applications on August 5th. And the award mechanisms, there are 4 of them listed here. The pilot award, up to $250,000 for maximum 2 years. The clinical trial award, it does have different due dates, so please check the solicitation from the BRAP website. But the funding is about $1.5 million, maximum 4 years. The proteogenomics research award, up to $250,000, maximum 2 years, and the investigator-initiated research award, $600,000 to $800,000, maximum 4 years. The ALS research program is to support research from biomarker discovery through preclinical work as well as clinical applications. There's $40 million for this program this year, and awards range from $500,000 to $2 million, with project periods from 2 to 3 years. The pre-application is on April 29th. Full applications due by July 28th. Different award mechanisms, once again, for each of the DoD programs, there are different award mechanisms. These ones include the Pilot Clinical Trial Award, Clinical Biomarker Development Award, Therapeutic Development Award, and the Therapeutic Idea Award. And here's the epilepsy research program as well, to investigate topics related to the cryptogenesis for the identification of mechanisms by which brain injury produces epilepsy, study the prevention of PTE, post-traumatic epilepsy, following a TBI, and comorbidities, and develop innovative research tools or biomarkers to better detect, diagnose, or predict the development of PTE. There's $12 million available for this program. Awards range from $300,000 to $1.3 million. Pre-applications due on May 19th, full applications on June 23rd. Different award mechanisms as well, two main ones here. The Idea Development Award from 300 to 550K, maximum 3 years, and the Research Partnership Award of $1.3 million, maximum 3 years. So this was like a quick introduction about those programs and what is actually listed on the DoD eBRAP website as of now. And here are some quick tips how to maximize your chances for award. First of all, make sure that you seek insight into the interests and goals of those funding agencies. Even when you look at the solicitation, you see different award mechanisms. Each one of them have different goals and different interests. So make sure that you go through all of those mechanisms and really match your R&D with the solicitation and not the opposite, which brings me to my next point. Stay the course and ensure to correlate the granting strategy with your long-term R&D plan. Don't change the way you're doing things based on a solicitation to make it a good fit. Yes, you can make some tweaks, but don't change your strategy if you find a nice opportunity and you want to change everything. No, stick to your areas of expertise and only apply to those opportunities that fit with your long-term goals and objectives. Of course, you have to know your weaknesses and find partners if necessary. If you know that you are missing special expertise to fill some gaps, by all means, collaborate and find the right people or set of expertise to fill those gaps. If you have everything that you need in terms of leadership and the equipment, the lab, the tools, then you can submit on your own. So it's really flexible how you do it. And for more importantly, identify all relevant opportunities, not just one. This CDMRP programs are great programs. They are released once a year, as I've mentioned, just before April, which is why we wanted to provide this webinar. But you have to identify all opportunities from the NIH, from BARDA, from the US Army Medical Research and Development Command, from private foundations. Each project can be submitted to multiple agencies at the same time. And this is really what we call at FreeMind the multi-submission granting strategy. Once you do so, you plan and execute on long term with having as many shots on the target. That is how you become successful and can actually rely on a strategy to access non-dilutive funding. So thank you all for your time. I think we hit 32 minutes. It was a great pleasure introducing the CDMRP programs. And of course, if you are interested to speak with an expert, if you want to speak with us and get some feedback on your project, some discussions on how you would like to approach those sources, and if you need any kind of assistance, feel free to reach out to me directly. My email, as you can see here, is quite simple: amro@freemindconsultants.com. So I'm gonna quickly go see through any questions here. So with pleasure. Indirect costs in addition to the 200. Yes, indeed. Indirect costs are separate from the numbers listed in this presentation. And those will be negotiated with the funders once you know that you're going to be awarded. We enter a negotiation phase, and we do help our clients in those negotiations to get as much overheads as we can justify. How does peer-reviewed medical research programs do apply to SBIR companies? Indeed, they apply to all types of entities, not just SBIR eligible companies, even companies outside the US can apply to these programs. Yes, there's going to be a copy of this presentation. We will send it to all of you by email. And in addition to the recording, once it's uploaded on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, we will also send the link to everyone. Yep, so you mentioned the slide on clinical trials, but noted clinical trials were not funded. So where it says clinical trials will not be funded are for the award mechanisms that are not related to clinical trials. So you can definitely submit to multiple sources of funding, but you can't double dip. Ultimately, if the best case scenario, you receive a funding, an award notice from both of them, you have to pick one. You just have to pick one of them. In some cases with our clients, we have been able to split the award between different funders to fund different parts of the same project, but generally speaking, you have to pick one of them. All right, so I think that is it for today. Thank you, guys. And once again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me directly. And of course, if you want to discuss our business model and how we might help, we can always have a call, privately and discuss what could be suitable to your needs and expectations. Thank you, everyone. We will be in touch very soon with a slide deck and the YouTube link. And I wish you all have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.